Spirit looked lost on Ancient until they won 8 rounds in a row, using an approach where not only are they losing mid control in the first 15 seconds of the round, they're then leaving top mid completely unwatched for up to 30-40 seconds at a time, and then once they do decide to pick it up, Donk is leaving Zontix alone to watch the 200s to A all by himself. So how does Spirit win so many rounds in a row, particularly when Mouz finished A quite a few times? So let's look at what Spirit are achieving with this setup. Well, middle is a little bit lighter than you'd normally see from some teams. They're throwing the smoke early, which misses in this situation, but they're doing the flashes high from Donk early to try and delay, plus just a chip grenade from Zontix here. No Molotovs or anything thrown, they're all being saved. And then over towards the B side of the map, we have 3 players there consistently. Chopper's job is to wait until the T side's default smoke disappears and re-smoke the cheetah area on his own. Notice that cool little spam for lower middle. While Zhui and Shiro shut down and get any information towards B main. And Spirit have a real emphasis on this cave area. As soon as Chopper's smoke starts to fade, Shiro moves in here with him and they play some kind of setup. My favorite of which was this aggressive one they used later in the half, where Chopper actually peeks aggressively while Shiro holds his heaven side, and then no one can trade Chopper and they get the 2 opening picks. The other example is Shiro AWPing in here a little bit more passively, but you can see he has Chopper hanging around ready to help him out as Brolin tries to default this area. So that's reason 1 for this setup, is it makes cave control very difficult for the T side. If I take you back to our original round, Donk has already completely given up middle, and Exertion has found himself up top mid. Now the reason for this big timing when no one's watching this top mid area is they're just presuming, Spirit, that because Mouz have smoked top mid, no one's going to walk through it. And you can see as that smoke fades, Donk turns around and starts to look at this spawn area. But what is Spirit's plan if Mouz do come A? Well, a lot of it comes off this smoke timing. So you can see Donk, before he does leave, smokes off this donut area with about a minute left, and then he walks over and grabs Zontix's other smoke, which again, he's going to redeploy here at about 40 seconds, meaning that if Mouz want to come A not through a smoke, they're going to have to do it very late in the round. But this strategy should only work if the other team does respect smoke. So you can see here, Mouz don't. They make the right call and go through this donut smoke. They trade Zontix, and if Donk hadn't turned up and perfectly spammed Torzi, Yimpat gets the trade, and they have a 3v2 post plan on this A side. Not to mention, because of how passive Spirit have been on top middle, Exertion gets the easiest lurk and kill of his life onto Chopper. So if we're looking for a purely tactical perspective, Mouse Sports actually outplayed Spirit here, and it was just with a little bit of Donk magic that they were able to get this one to the 2v2 and win their battles in the retake, versus a little bit of a miscoordinated Mouse double swing. But surely that can't be the plan all the time, right? Just leave A weak. Well, let's look at another round where they shut down the Mouz A hit. And it follows the exact same rules as before. If there's a smoke deployed at A, we play this 3-1-1 setup, and when that smoke fades, we're going to move 2 players over here to make sure A is being shut down. And then once we deploy that late smoke at 40 seconds, we're going to again rotate that second A player off to watch the top mid. Notice during that mid round when there was 2 players at A, no one rotated again from B, leaving this top mid area completely open for a good 10-15 seconds. And that's because during this time, at about 40 seconds, is when Chopper starts to get active towards B, going for info on B main. And then he's going to be the one trying to rotate off so that they can then play 2 players towards A. You can see in this round, Brolin does a good job of drawing attention towards B, so Chopper doesn't leave. He's instead forced to support Shiro. But you can see even by the time they've stabilized, there is only a couple of seconds here where Donk has left to get back towards A before that last smoke fades. And Chopper is able to have eyes on spawn. In this particular round, he gets pulled away again by the fake util from Torzi. But Donk and Zontix still commit to their 2-man A setup, knowing that once Chopper's sorted out what's happening at B, he'll be picking up spawn for them. The other little detail is not only are they giving smokes at A, also Molotovs. This Molotov here was dropped right at the beginning of the round by Shiro and juggled over here towards Zontix. Donk just didn't pick it up when he was rotating around, so really they had 2 more Molotovs over here towards the A site. And you can see what happens. It's quiet with 20 seconds left. Zontix is able to deploy that Molotov, and the A hit is completely shut down. And it's not until the game is back to a 10-11 scoreline that Mouz seem to work out what's going on. They run a aggressive A default here with a frankly insane smoke from Yimpat, and they're able to trade out Zontix, who was forced to use an early Molotov, and play wide to make sure he's not getting popped on around this lurk smoke. But why did it take Mouz 5 rounds to realize what was going on? Well, if we look at how Na'Vi shut down the Mongols, they were playing aggressively in middle. They would take control and then they'd hang around waiting for the Mongols to try and clear it. They'd then take those forward angles, fighting together as a team and making it very difficult for the Mongols to even start their default without using a lot of utility early on. Or if they were a little bit more passive on mid, kind of how Spirit was starting, they would come back towards middle when they thought that Mongols were trying to take it in this mid type of round and shut it down on that timing, like you're seeing here, where they trade off blitz trying to get some kind of control. The weakness of this is it does leave this B cave to only be defended by one person, which you can see the Mongols understand, and actually fully had the plan of taking cave here, while just showing a little bit of pressure towards middle. Senzu gets the pick onto Alexi B, and that opens up that B site for them. And this gameplay we've seen from Na'Vi and the Mongols are what Mouz are used to playing against and strategy they practice against all the time. And Spirit know this and they condition this intelligently. Particularly the rotation we saw where you fight middle late, they did that off Donk's contact who was playing a little bit more aggressively versus a low buy. That makes Mouz feel like that Spirit aren't just doing the same passive hold over and over again because they've played against the other version, but it wasn't on a gun round. Plus, of course, Spirit did throw in that aggressive mid control early, which all teams do and seem to have a lot of success with. So Mouz don't just rush middle at the end of the round and break these timings for Spirit. Which means with a little bit of balls to leave a few gaps in the map that they knew was unlikely to be hit, they were able to shut down this cave area multiple times when Mouz thought it should be weak, getting man advantages, and successfully complete an 8-round comeback. Which ended with this round where you can see again Mouz trying to pop A early because they've identified the weakness. The Molotov goes down though, and with a lack of other utility, even though Donk is a long way away, he gets the 3k, and that's the end of the match. If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe.